What if the single best thing you could do for your garden this season was absolutely nothing at all? Welcome back to Grow Your Own Vegetables, where a community of trusted teaching partners helps you grow real food in any space in every season. Most gardeners dig their soil every spring, believing it improves it. But Charles Dowding's 12-year scientific trial has proven that the bed that was never dug produced 14 pounds of kitchen-ready food per square meter every single year, while the dug bed consistently fell behind. In the next 9 minutes, Charles Dowding, the world's most trusted no-dig pioneer, is going to show you exactly why stopping digging is the single best thing you can do for your garden, starting today.
I find I can grow up to 50 kilos a year of food.
For more information, free resources, and gentle guidance, you can find us at growyourownvegetables.org. And to grow alongside other gardeners just like you, join our free community at gyov.org. Settle in. You're going to enjoy this.
Grow your own superfood. It's maybe not as difficult as you might think if you've never done it before. I'm a specialist in no-dig gardening, which means you don't need to apply yourself to turn over the soil and get involved in heavy cultivations of any kind. But I do recommend, especially for growing vegetables which love rich, fertile soil, to get hold of some organic matter of some kind, usually some kind of compost. Doesn't have to be perfect. You could make your own. You could buy some. And with no-dig, that's the only input. So we're not talking here about using any fertilizers, no pesticides, no herbicides, no insecticides hardly. Sometimes one or two are useful of an organic type. But you can grow your own food, which is actually much more nutritious even than organic food you might buy, because with your own food you've got fantastic microbes, and it's being appreciated more and more how microbes are brilliant for not only soil health, which is the no-dig part, but our health, and that's in our gut. 80% of the immune system is in the gut. So let's do it. And I can give you some tips in this video about how to start with no-dig. The first thing is you might have some weedy ground. I'm assuming here that you've got a bit of ground. If you haven't got any ground at all, you can adapt a lot of what I'm saying to containers. I know people who grow wonderful vegetables in old baths, for example. I would recommend generally filling large containers with compost of any kind. And compost is a very broad word, so it includes things like old animal manure, tree leaves that have rotted down, we call them leaf mould in England, wood chips that are maybe 18 months old and more. So you've got a range of possibilities of how you can find your compost or make it. And when you make it, it's from pretty much anything actually, including stuff you might be able to scrounge, because other people's waste is the gardener's joy, like coffee grounds that you can get free from coffee shops, for example. So if you live in a town, you know, you've actually got probably more possibilities for scrounging than we have here in the country. But wherever you look, once you get into that frame of mind, you'll see the possibility. So it's kind of like make your own fertilizer, except the compost is not fertilizer. What it does is it enlivens the soil, and that's what we're all about. No-dig, get the soil microbes strong and healthy. That boosts your microbes, and it means that the soil, roots in the soil, are able to find nutrients and moisture which they need through all the networks of life in the soil. So think in terms of life more than nutrients, biology more than chemistry. And then that actually makes it easier to grow, because you don't need to think in terms of, do I need special fertilizer food for any particular plant? What you're going to do is just enrich all your soil with some organic matter. We put every year 3 centimetre roughly of compost on the beds and 2 centimetre maybe wood chip on the paths. That's it. And that's enough to grow even 2 crops a year in the year following. So how do you lay out your beds? What I've done here is, for example, 1.2 metre wide beds, that's 4 foot, and 40 centimetre pathways, that's 16 inches. That could be a starting point. Even if you made just 2 beds, And I'd recommend that actually. If you haven't done this before, start small. Get your hands in there. Don't wait until you feel you've got every last bit of theory clear in your mind. A lot of things will become clear once you start using your hands. Hands are a great way of learning actually, as much as the brain. So, that's one of the joys of gardening actually. You're building cognizance and awareness in your body, and that's all part of health as well. So you make your 2 beds. How long are they going to be? Maybe 2.4 meters, 8 foot long, for example. Could be a bit more. In a bed like that, I find I can grow up to 50 kilos a year of food. To give you an idea of how much, my yields here on average are around about 6 kilograms, 14 pounds say, per square meter. That's of trimmed kitchen ready food every year. So, from a few square meters actually, you can grow quite a bit to eat. And once you've got your beds there, there's one more thing I need to say actually. It's just about how do you get rid of weeds with no dig. And that's where I've developed some nice methods using cardboard as just as a one-off at the beginning on the weeds, whatever they are. Could be grass, could be perennial weeds. Weeds is a kind of, it's a tricky word. Some people don't like using the word weed because they say all plants are good. But if you want to grow really nice vegetables and get the most from your ground, it's good to have not too many other plants near to those vegetables. And that also helps to keep down what can be quite a tricky pest, which is slugs, which otherwise might eat your plants. So you get rid of the weeds by smothering them rather than digging them out. Lay cardboard on top, compost on top of that. That's one option. We also sometimes do compost straight on the weeds, plants, and then put black plastic on top of that just for a few months until the weeds die underneath. And you can actually put some plants to grow, which you can harvest through the plastic, make little holes, things like potatoes, winter squash, for example. There's possibilities. There's so many possibilities. So that's where a little bit of working out timings and what you actually want to eat, that's the most important decision to make. So let's have a look at 1 or 2 ideas about how you can sow and how you can plant and look after those plants. This area has an idea of how you could lay out a maybe medium-sized plot. It's 6.5 meters long by roughly 9 meters, say that's 20 feet by 30 feet. And we've got 18 quite small beds here. And so each bed is 2 meters by 1.2, about 6.5 by 4 feet. Pathways quite narrow, as you can see. This is a very efficient use of space. It's much better to have a small area and crop it really tightly than have a great big area and just half fill it. You want to really go for it in terms of packing things in. Plants like that. In fact, people often ask me, what is companion planting, or do you do companion planting? I kind of don't, and yet I do. So I haven't got long lists or tables of what plants like other plants. It's more about plants, like all plants, they like being quite close. So like these spinach here, for example, they're roughly 25 centimeters, 10 inches apart, and they're quite small at the moment because they've actually overwintered. Incredible tough plants, and they're going to grow quite a lot bigger in the next few weeks and for another 2 months after that.
If today's video helped, we'd love to invite you to something special. Every year, Grow Your Own Vegetables hosts the free Superfood Garden Summit, where dozens of gardening teachers share more videos just like the one you watched today, helping you grow healthier, more abundant food at home. Whether you join us live or watch the replay, grab your free ticket at the link in the description below. Thank you for spending this time with us.